As requested by a commenter, in this video, I'm gonna give some theories on how Batman gets from Wayne Manor to Gotham City and back, and how he moves around the city in his car. Before I begin, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like and subscribe. I believe he's using tunnels to get around the city, starting from Wayne Manor and into the city itself, to bypass traffic and to escape when being chased. I also believe that when he first started, he probably utilized existing tunnels, such as old subway tunnels that are no longer in use. This is inspired by a scene shown in The Batman starring Robert Pattinson, where he's working out of Wayne Terminal. The reason to use existing tunnels is that, one, in the short term, it would take way too long to build specific tunnels just for the Batmobile. Secondly, a massive overhaul of numerous tunnels specifically for the car would have a high chance of being on the radar of the government due to the massive undertaking. Now, that doesn't mean he's not gonna build them, but he is more likely doing them in a slow manner to not get caught, so it would take multiple years to come into fruition. Batman most likely has access to tunnel blueprints, as Wayne Enterprises basically built Gotham City from the ground up, and continues to be one of, if not the biggest contributor to said city. I believe Wayne Industries, and maybe in some part Wayne Mining, may have played some part in building multiple tunnels, including, but not limited to, the subway tunnels. So here's a couple of maps of Gotham City. This is the Arkham Knight one, this is from Earth 27, and this one's like a paper map. And what I think he's doing, if you look at this one, is that he's using certain key points to pop out of from the tunnels. So imagine these little dots right here, which are for specific points of the game, are instead points of entrances for the car to pop out of. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on the size of the place and how easy it is to get to one place to the other. The reason I believe he's only using some tunnels is that it reduces the chance of getting caught. When looking at these maps, you may notice a key issue, which is that Wayne Manor is usually not in the city, but over the water, at least in the first two maps, the paper one and Earth 27. As such, you would need a tunnel to connect the Batcave with the existing tunnels. There is another possibility, which is him starting his base in Wayne Tower, which in Batman Begins is explained to be like the unofficial center of the city due to the train built by the company being routed through. So there is already built-in access and no tunneling needed. But this is a temporary solution as it's an office building, so too many eyes, too many risks. So back to tunneling, looking at the maps of Gotham, specifically Wayne Manor, there needs to be tunnels going through the Batcave. However, you can't bring people into the cave, or the gag from Family Guy, where people would question why and what's this for. There is a couple of methods of tunneling that I could find: the cut and cover method, underwater tunnel, pipe or box jacking, or the boring method. A quick explanation of each method: the cut and cover requires soil to be removed from the top till the point you want to build the tunnel, then you cover it up. This method is very disruptive, but may be possible due to the isolation of the Wayne estate, though in the map of Gotham City in Earth 27, you can see that the Kane estate is close by. This would require multiple heavy machinery to dig, move, and refill the soil, which I do have a possible explanation for how he would acquire it without having the crew there, but I'll mention that later in the video. The pipe jacking method can also work, where a pipe or box is pushed into the area that you want to make a tunnel with via a hydraulic jack. Though the Batcave will have rocks in them, so I don't know if it will be effective. The underwater method is not applicable on land, and as for the boring method, you need a tunnel boring machine, or TBM, but they're fucking huge. There do seem to be smaller options, but it's also kind of long and have to be shipped in parts and needs an entry shaft to be put in place. And it's so large that they usually abandon it once the work is done, until recently to save on some costs. It also seems to require multiple people working both on the surface and in the actual machine, both of which is going to be high risk in terms of exposure, and weird for a private residence to use a device that's made for railways or highway tunnels. As for the water separating the land between the city and where Wayne Manor sits, this is where the underwater tunneling method comes into play, which is where you dropped pre-built pipes underwater and attach them. Now, unlike with Wayne Manor, where he would have to do it himself, and with some complicated machines, he can do the underwater one and anything in the city with an actual crew. I'll paint you a picture. Basically, he, through Lucius Fox, creates a project for Wayne Industries, which isn't too weird because again, they do many projects in Gotham City. So similar to Elon Musk's underground tunnel, a big project is done, but like 80 to 90% of the way through, some excuse comes through. Lack of funding, governmental sanctions, or revoking of permits, whatever. Then it's sold to an outside investor, which is just Bruce Wayne under a shell company. So basically, the Wayne Enterprise company moves on and cuts their losses. The rest of the work, such as lights or entrances, are done by Bruce or Lucius or even Alfred over a course of months or maybe 2 to 3 years. He would require the specifics needed in bulk, like explained in Batman Begins, to avoid suspicion and put them up during the night with large fences that are covering to make sure that no one really looks into it, and if someone does, he could probably smooth talk and or bribe them to go away, while in disguise of course. As for how he gets material for Wayne Manor, which doesn't have a crew, he most likely does a lease or rent from his own company under a shell company as well, which delivers it to a third area. It then gets picked up by him or Alfred or Lucius again and brought to Wayne Manor. As for the places, he may leave them abandoned with the secret entrances for the car to keep onlookers away, or go the other way by turning the land into another building so no one gets too curious of any previous construction. Once again, this is all just a theory. I would say it's a pretty good explanation on how Batman gets around the city in his vehicle. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and support the channel by hitting the join button for $2.99 a month.